It's WG bringing you SNB, and y'all have asked for a shop guide. So let's take on the shop and tell you what exactly are good and what exactly are bad deals. The general store is by far the easiest. You get a free daily pick, you always pick that one up. Everything else right here, and especially for the moment, is pretty terrible. Like for example, paying 2.4 million for a tier 5 piece. If you can also just play a gear dungeon and get the pieces, it's not worth it. There are no good deals, no actually good deals in this shop. I haven't seen any, and they also don't really exist. The later you get into the game, at some point you'll have more and more gold, and then you'll be able to, for example, buy a tea for gold. But for now, and especially for the next 2 months, pretty much ignore the general store, get the first item, and you're fine. Now, a lot of questions come in regarding these perfect advanced charts, and also these ones. They look really interesting, right? Like, oh, awakening fragments. I could buy 10 of them. Wow. Keep in mind, you get around 1,800 currency per 10 pull. So if you buy this for 10, don't do it. I'll show you why. If you buy this for 10 and then you head into your upgrade awakening center, let's use the 10. All right, let's just use 10. Let's do the 2 we already had, and let's use 10. Right? If we use 10, we are getting nothing. The reason why our level is already at 13 isn't because of us buying these shards. No, it is because of the event shop. The event shops, especially with us getting a new event in already 3 days time. In 3 days time, you get this exact same shop again. This is where you get them. Like, look at this. We can right here buy 100 of them for 500 event currency. 10 times the amount. So this would be 10 multiples worth. And that is the reason why in this shop there is only one worthy. These are even more expensive. Like, unless you're a Giga Hyper Whale and you've maxed out every single character, it's that simple. You go in there and you can pretty much max it out. I always like to hold a couple, but to be fair, at the end of the day, get them in, get yourself more SSRs. Let me know something, let me tell you something though. You have to decide for yourself, are you at the point where you want to summon because you need a couple specific units, like for example highlights like Bella, Cecia, Joanne, Darcias, Acapella, Starry-Eyed, Thibault, Van Helsing? Or can you actually hold on to them and wait for the 17th? Because on the 17th, there's going to be 2 new heroes added into the shards. So once the 17th runs out, right here, as well as you can also see it on the Dalcalo banner, once the 17th run out, after the limited embrace ends, will become available in the standard embrace, perennial embrace, friendship summon, right? Standard summons, friendship summons, and the rare /advanced/ perfect shards in a future update. So at some point they'll be joining that pool, though for now there's no reason to hold onto them. Just keep that in mind, that limited characters aren't as limited. I just like to throw it out there. Okay, now these spirits right here. There is one perfect scenario, and that is you buying a spirit for a top tier character to make sure they can go to 200. Like for example, if we were to buy an Acapella shard right now and bring Acapella to 200. So the reason why you want to go to 200, that's because that's the max level a character can reach, and you need 5 different heroes with 4 copies total, the first one and then the 3 extras, to reach the level 200. But it is still far away, and it still is a lot of time. So the most optimal scenario is you picking up Thibaults, Acapella, Cecias, all these with these ones. But for now you can hold on to them, and whenever you do get close to that, you have to go to level 200. You can then use the currency to buy an extra shard, for example for a Hearty if you need that. But I would still recommend trying to see if you can get more value for your shards with like overall considered better characters. Now the blood shop is a bit debatable as of this moment. But for now, I think it's a good idea to just save up for the SSR, because at the end of the day, SSR character is an SSR character, and if she ever becomes useful in some piece of content, you want to be able to use her rather than having bought these other materials right here. Outside of that, you can, if you wanted to, buy these skill up materials. Just know it only gives you like a level total. And for the gear pieces, you're going to be able to overtake these gear pieces. You will be able to find better gear than tier 5 with the faction. There might be some better deals in the future here, but for now, you can just save your points, or if you desperately need it, spend it on skill materials. And then lastly, right here, these are your guild coins, and you can use these guild coins. Let's actually claim some guild coins real quickly. Right here, so we claim 100 guild coins, then don't forget to like someone, so you get another 50, so that's 150 every 7 days, and then hopefully with the guild event, the clan hunt, a bit more. And then what you want to buy here is, in my opinion, it's hard to say, right? Like this one, if you heavily use DPS characters, you want to work on these shards. If you like for example, like Bella, and want to work towards her giving you a blood soul when a summon dies. This one is the Transcendent Hearty artifact, the one that does for debuffs, and the Fruit of Immortality is the one that works on tanks. So this is like generic DPS, basic attack DPS, summoners, debuff units, and tanks / healers. For me personally, I've already bought a copy of a Philosopher's Stone blueprint, but I gotta be honest with you, there's no rush. There's no rush for you to spend these guild coins. You can just accumulate them up until we have like a decisive idea of which artifact is the very best to aim for. My predictions on that, they depend a bit, but this one is really strong with the A5, where you can, when a summon appear, recover a extra blood soul, meaning every 20 seconds it gives you 1 cost that you can use towards ultimates. I mean, I guess we can, so at this point you can either like shut off the video, or you can listen to me talk about my ideas of which ones are probably going to become the strongest, and you see how the Cage of this Invisible Knight isn't even in the shop. So, for the first one, you would unlock the ability to, upon crit hit, fire 4 bullets at the target, dealing a 300% magic damage. So overall, it's just a DPS increase. Here we already briefly talked about this effect. Right here, you would be able to increase the attack speed even more. This synergizes incredibly well with Van Helsing's ultimate, because during his ultimate, he gets 50%, and this one stacks with it, so you would get like 75% or even 85% attack speed total. More attacks, more damage. And let's see if we can check out the other ones. Yeah, so this one is the debuff one. You see how it deals 10% increased damage to enemies under debuff or control effects. This is a multiplier. So it's a 1 times 1x multiplier on any damage to units under control. And then when applying a control or debuff effect, you deal an additional 325% damage on a 10-second cooldown. Perfect for you Transcendent Hearty enjoyers out there. Then the Fruit of Immortality, when HP falls below 50, you restore 4% max HP every second for 10 seconds, so purely for tanks. And when targeted by 3 or more enemies, you reduce all damage taken by 15%. That is also pretty huge, but in general, tanks are less important. And then right here we have the healing artifact, where when the battle begins you gain 2 nightingales. Each time you heal, these nightingales will restore even more HP to allies with below 50% HP, so you can just improve the heal capabilities of your healers. And now you can also gain 1 nightingale every 12 seconds up to a maximum of 3. So this one would definitely get quite good scaling, but in my opinion the order probably goes something like Philosopher's Stone, Eye of Truth, Poseidon's Skull, and then Chronometer, kind of depending on who you're focusing on. Either like a DPS that's neither basic attack nor debuff, or a debuff DPS or a basic attack DPS. So yeah, that's my shop guide, and as always we see each other in the next one. Peace!